What's up, guys, and welcome back to the Tim Sports Talk. And today we are recapping the preseason game number 2, Washington Commanders versus the Kansas City Chiefs. And you can see the score here, 24-14, Chiefs on top. And there's a lot to talk about in this game, and we saw a lot of the starters, almost a full half of both offense and defense, and we did not score anything and allowed 2 touchdowns. So it was 14-0 when the offense and defensive starters came off the board. It wasn't until Taylor Heineke came in the 2-minute offense where he scored a touchdown right before half, making the halftime score 14-7. But we'll start with Mr. Carson Wentz. And Carson Wentz was a very similar story to last week. Pretty efficient. He went 6 for 9, 64 yards, no touchdowns. He did get sacked on a 3rd down. That was the only sack of the day, but we didn't have 2 of the guards. But honestly, it just came off the beautiful play by Karlaftis. Karlaftis, the rookie for the Chiefs, came off the edge. He was actually double-teamed, spun off of Sam Cosmi, and when Carson Wentz stepped up into the pocket, he spun, found Carson Wentz, and got a sack. It was a beautiful play by Karlaftis, but Carson Wentz, again, did similarly to what he did last week, where it comes down to ball placement, and that's basically his biggest problem this preseason, because he's been 16 for 22, 130 some odd yards so far out of the 2 starts he's had this preseason. So it's about 3/4 of football, which is not super great. You would like a little bit higher, but it also has to do with the fact that the defense can't get off the field and he's only having the ball for 3 drives. So basically, even though he's played 3/4 of football, it's totaling 6 drives. So 6 drives, it's basically averaging like 20 yards a drive, which actually isn't that bad. We're able to move the football today. We got down to the inside the Kansas City territory a couple of times with the starting offense, but 3rd down efficiency wasn't great. We were 0 for 3 with Carson Wentz in the game, and it came down to 2 throws to Curtis Samuel, and already talked about the 1 sack. Now, the first throw was a deep throw to Curtis Samuel, and yes, you would like to see Curtis Samuel come down with the football. It would have been a contested catch, but just like last week, Carson Wentz threw it a little bit too far to the inside and made Curtis Samuel have to make an absolutely spectacular catch. It would have been a ESPN highlight tape if Curtis Samuel did come down with that. But what happens when you throw it a little bit too far to the inside that allows the DB to get his hands in there like he did and knock it away? And then the other 3rd down came on a 3rd and 4 where we threw a short pass to Curtis Samuel. And again, Carson Wentz threw it too far to the inside, which then allowed Nick Bolton, the linebacker, to come screaming in and knock it away from Curtis Samuel. Again, Curtis got his hands on it. You would like to see him come down with it and make a tough catch. But again, it would have had to have been a super tough catch instead of throwing it to his back shoulder, and then that would have been able to make a much easier catch. Yeah, he would have got hit, but at least it wouldn't have been hands on the football. So Carson Wentz needs to work on that part so far with the timing with these receivers to get the ball a little bit farther to the outside where only his receiver has a chance to come down with it. And, you know, I don't want to hate on him too much. Overall, I would say Carson Wentz has looked solid, looked good, looked a little bit better than okay, right? Hasn't thrown any interceptions. He hasn't thrown a touchdown either, but no interceptions. He seems to be making good decisions with the football, where he's going with the football. It's just the small little thing that would make this offense go from good to great so far with the starters on the field. All right, so that's Carson Wentz. Brian Robinson, the running back who did tremendous last week, 3rd round pick out of Alabama, looked good again, man. He ended up with 8 carries, 31 yards, which is 3.8 yards a carry, which doesn't sound good at first, but that's because the last 2 or 3 carries or so came on 2nd and 1 and 3rd and 1, where he was only getting a yard or 2, but he was getting the first downs, right? But before those last couple of carries, he was averaging 4.8 yards a carry, looking good doing it. And again, he was always falling forward, always fighting for the extra yards, keeping good protection of the football high and tight. But he's not a home run hitter, but he's a guy that can grind it out and be really effective in the run game. So I don't think he's like a top-notch running back by any means, but I think he is the best running back, at least in between the tackles we have on this roster, and he got way more carries than one Antonio Gibson, who again only ended 2 carries, 3 yards. And unfortunately, I predicted that on Uncut, that I said he was going to have single-digit yards, and he did again. Vision issues and just not being truly efficient in the run game hurts Antonio Gibson. Overall, I thought the play calling on offense was pretty solid. We ran some screen passes that worked well. Jahan Dotson got a first couple of catches of his career. 2 catches, 23 yards. I wanted more like 5 targets, but we only targeted him twice. It is what it is. Terry McLaurin also had 2 catches for 27 yards on the day. But we were moving the ball. We were attacking all areas of the field. We weren't just being an easy team to guard. We were trying to attack in all areas, every level, intermediate, deep, short. Both screen passes worked well. One went to Jahan. The other, I believe, I think it was to Gibson. Actually, Gibson ended the day with 3 catches, 37 yards. I don't think Brian Robinson had a catch today. Yeah, I think it was Gibson on the other screen pass. So overall, I thought the play calling was solid. Of course, it's vanilla as far as preseason is concerned, right? He's not dialing up every single play, opening up the playbook completely because we're not trying to show everything. But overall, a good mix of pass and run, and I wasn't complaining about Scott Turner at all today. The tight end room was light again. We had Amani Rodgers and Eli Wolf. Pretty much that was the only 2 tight ends all day today. Also, Gibson. Antonio Gibson was our starting kick returner today. He got the first kickoff, and he didn't look bad doing it. He didn't break one or anything, but I would love to see him continue to be the starting kickoff guy for us. I think getting that kind of talent, 6'2", 220 pounds, that able to run a 4.39 40-yard dash. He was a highlight reel in college. He returned in college. Every 7 touches was a touchdown. Get this guy in open space, and I think he could be absolutely tremendous for us. I hope he wins the starting kick returner role and still use him in the offense, but I think our primary ball carrier should be Brian Robinson from here on out, as far as in between the tackles. Still use him, though, in offense. Bring him in with, like, on third down, you could bring in both Gibson and J.D. McKissick and use them in so many different ways, but it is what it is there. The offensive line looked solid, even though we had a bunch of offensive linemen out. John Matsko continues to do a great job. Again, the 1 sack came on an absolutely incredible play. So those are the starters numbers. We'll go to the backups. Taylor Heineke had a good day, 9 for 12, 83 yards and a touchdown. Went deep once with De'Ami Brown. Unfortunately, could not connect. De'Ami needs to attack that football. But again, similar to Wentz, he threw it a little bit too far inside. But it was a little bit different because he kind of hung it up there more, where De'Ami needs to be able to track that ball a little better. The deep throws from Carson were more line drives. Not completely, but it was a little bit different of a situation in my opinion. But Heineke looked pretty good, and he had a nice touchdown pass to Cam Sims, where it was only Cam Sims who could get it. The running back room, Jared Patterson ended up with a touchdown. He wasn't used a lot. Jonathan Williams, meh. I think we're only going to be... Honestly, I think we're only going to keep 3 running backs. And B-Rob, J.D. McKissick, Antonio Gibson. Nobody else really stood out to me as somebody that really makes a difference. And, yeah, those are the offense. Now we're moving on to the defense. The defense was bad. All right, and they did get screwed on one particular play on 3rd and 10. They should have got off the field on the first drive. It was an absolute bogus PI call on William Jackson. I mean, he had great positioning. Not much better coverage you could ask for there. Pressure was coming on Mahomes. He had to get rid of the football, and there was a holding call. It should have been an absolute easy punt, but unfortunately, we gave him offsetting penalties, and Cameron Kroll got beat on a play down the middle. But overall, the defense just looks really bad, man. The defense did not look good. And granted, it is Pat Mahomes, and Pat Mahomes made some throws that were, one in particular, he rolled to his left, off balance, sidearm, in between 2 dudes. It was nasty. Over the middle of the field. Exactly what you tell your quarterback not to do, like cross body, across the middle of the field. Yet when Pat Mahomes does it, he makes it look amazing. Both touchdowns went to Forston, the tight end, and one Cameron Kroll was right there, tried to bat it away. Unfortunately, it was a bobbled, nice catch by Forston. The other touchdown, now I'm drawing a blank on what the other touchdown looked like, but Forston got both of them. We were abysmal on third down. We gave up 6 for 6 with our first team offense versus their first team offense versus our first team defense. We gave up 6 for 6, and they were just slicing and dicing us. Run defense looked great. The run defense, we were absolutely stuffing them. Like you could see the starters: 2 for 4 for Edwards, 1 for 2 for the fullback Burton, and then Pachero got some first team carries, 4 carries, 8 yards. We were stuffing them with our first team defense as far as the run game is concerned, which is odd considering we were running only 2 linebackers and 4 down linemen. You'd think we would be better against the pass in that situation, but they were slicing and dicing us. It was horrible. Kendall Fuller gave up some stuff. He also had a couple of nice plays, though. Cole Holcomb continues to just look horrible to me. He's just not. He's playing zone and guarding nobody, rather. Like, he's not actually playing what the offense is trying to do. He's just guarding a spot on the field, which then allows wide open people to be able to sit into the zones. You have to adapt the zone coverage to whatever the offense is trying to do. I mean, they left Travis Kelce open a couple of times, and Cole Holcomb was the closest man to him. That's a problem. Jamin Davis, though, he continues to flash as far as, especially in the run game, but nobody in coverage. There's just nobody. I can't give anybody credit in coverage. And it's not even like somebody's getting bait, but Jack Del Rio is so frustrating with how far off the ball he keeps putting these receivers, especially, these corners on these receivers, especially in 3rd and short. I mean, we're seeing 3rd and 3, and everybody's playing 7, 8, 9 yards off the ball, and it's just quick pitch and catches. Like, it's too easy. Why does Jack Del Rio continue to do this? And it's something that Ron Rivera has got to look at him like, bro, what are you doing? Just like he did with Sam Mills III on defensive line, like, hey, your dudes aren't playing well enough? What are you doing in the secondary to call these stupid off-the-ball plays, especially when you have a guy like William Jackson who's known to play press man, and you're putting him 8 yards off the ball, and he's looking horrible doing it. It's so frustrating to watch this defense. We just got sliced and diced in the secondary over and over and over again. It doesn't matter who it was. There was nobody that played well. Bobby McCain gave up some. Cam Crow gave up some. Cole Holcomb, Kendall Fuller gave up some. William Jackson gave up the big PI that was, again, it was a bad call, but still, you can't make it even questionable, right? So, I don't even know exactly what to do as far as what can Jack Del Rio do other than play up more on 3rd and short. We sent some blitzes today that couldn't get home because we're just giving it up too quickly. The pressure is getting there, except they can't complete the sack. Several times Pat Mahomes had to go on the move, but he's going on the move and making completions, right? The one touchdown pass was one where he was on the move that Cam Kroll was right there, and he bought time with his legs and found Forston late. It's frustrating. And it does make you nervous, but all you can say now, as far as a positive light, is it is Pat Mahomes. He is tremendous. He's the best in the business. So maybe you just chalk it up to that. But even Baker Mayfield and Sam Darnold were looking pretty darn good against us last week. We got to get help at linebacker. We've drafted a couple of safeties, but I don't like them. Bobby McCain is meh. I hate to leave you with kind of like a meh feeling, but I don't know what to do because nobody else really stepped up as far as the backups were concerned, right? Like, Drayden made a couple of nice plays. Stribling should be cut. Drayden, I think, had a pass deflection at one point. But nobody else in the secondary and the backups are really shining. I mean, Benjamin St-Juste gave up a big play that was fortunately overthrown for us, but he didn't look great. It's hard. I usually say, I can't criticize without having a better game plan, but some of it is, I don't know what you can even do. And that's the unfortunate part. It's just the talent level seems to not be playing up to snuff. I know a lot of people like Kendall Fuller, and as I said, he had a couple of nice plays, but he's also getting beat on too many. But the main thing the defense needs to do is play up. Okay, this giving up these short underneath stuff immediately, especially on second and third and shorts, unacceptable. Just unacceptable. Shaka Toney had a nice sack on the day, but again, it was against the backups. But he showed that speed, got around the edge, got a sack on Bouchel. Butler has not looked great. Who was it? I think it was Corn Elder that dropped a pick in the end zone. He had an easy interception, dropped that. Yeah. Going back to the offense, though, as far as the backups, I don't know if I talked about Sam Howell. Sam Howell had some moments. He did have a nice touchdown drive where Jarrett Patterson ended up getting the touchdown on the carry. But unfortunately, we had a chance to try to win this game, and he just completely overthrew. It looked like it'd be a miscommunication with him and Marken Michel. Marken Michel went in. He expected him to go out, and it ended up being an easy interception on our side of the field, putting them in first and goal from the 4, and they ended up scoring a touchdown a few plays later, and where they completely botched a handoff. I'm not seeing a bunch of people in the second, third, fourth teams that really flashed to me today that should be making this team. Steven Parker was it last week. He didn't do anything. I didn't see much of him at all, which could be a good thing. Maybe he's covering his guy away from the ball, and I haven't gone back and looked at the tape to be able to say one way or the other. But nobody's flashing to me other than Steven Parker last week. But this week, nobody flashed. It was a tough day, and we lose the game 24-14, and we have some work to do, but you guys let me know what you guys thought about the games down in the comments below. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button if you're new. Thank you guys so much for hanging out in our live streams. We had a great showing again to the live stream of play-by-play. If you don't know, I do play-by-play every game, especially every Washington game, but as well as every Thursday night, Sunday night, and Monday night, so come on by to hang out with those. But thanks. Hit the like, hit the share. Also, you can donate to the channel. You can become a member of the channel for just 99 cents a month. Get some emojis in there and some channel badges. Become the first one. We haven't had one yet. You could be the first member of the channel to help support me and support this channel and help it grow. But you guys have a good one. And until next time, see ya!